Are you getting ready? And I am too. I am too. Something is wrong with their thinking. Under Biden and the radical Democrats, America has been mocked, derided, and brought to its knees, perhaps like never before. But we are here tonight to declare that it does not have to be this way. It does not have to be this way. In order to make America great and glorious again, I am tonight announcing my candidacy for President of the United States. This will not be my campaign. This will be our campaign all together.
Well, it's official, ladies and gentlemen. Trump has announced that he is running for president in 2024. We're going to talk about it. I'm your host, Hyde. This is Hide and Seek Media. Hello, all you beautiful and amazing people. Thank you for tuning in and welcome to the show. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you get notified anytime I drop a new video. The show is brought to you by the Hide and Seek Media Store. If you're like me and you like to spark a conversation or just make a statement without having to say too much, then click the link down below and check out all the cool merch I have to offer. And if you use code 1776, I'll give you 20% off your entire order. So, Donald Trump has announced officially he is running for president in 2024. And now the fireworks are going to start. The craziness is about to commence, right? The media is about to go bananas.
Going into 2024, the Republicans are going to be looking for candidates who are focused on winning, not just making a point or settling a score.
What is his vision for 2024? Is it I'm back? Because that's not a vision to me. It needs to be more than I'm back. Trump needs to take a good look in the mirror, and he needs to take a good look in the room, and he needs to read the room accurately.
All over the country, there's a very high correlation between MAGA candidates and big losses, or at least dramatically underperforming.
With this. And there are some people in the Republican Party who believe that there are candidates who can challenge Trump in the primaries.
Ready for a generational change in my party. Ron DeSantis be a great president. Tim Scott make a great president. Nikki Haley make a great president. Mike Pompeo, Mike Pence, go down the list. They're all in my generation.
What if he's the nominee? You'd have to. You wouldn't.
I think he's the only Republican who could lose, Joe.
That's a big task. And I'm not sure there's any candidates that really have the following in the Republican Party to challenge Trump. It's going to be interesting. I found some news articles to talk about, and, I'm going to talk about Trump's speech when he announced for his candidacy. So, we're going to get into all of that. But first, I want to talk about the media specifically and how I think this is going to go. I can already see it in some of the articles that I've read about his announcement, that it seems that they are trying to downplay Trump's popularity as much as they can. And even news outlets like Fox News are starting to, let's say, muddy the water a little bit when it comes to where they stand on Trump and his running the country. So here's this first article from Fox News. Trump ignores GOP rivals and stolen election claims in 2024 presidential announcement. Trump announced a third run for the White House, condemning Biden's stewardship of the nation. Former President Donald Trump on Tuesday announced his 2024 candidacy for president in a speech that punched hard at Democrats but skipped over his GOP rivals, staying on message in a way strikingly different from his traditional rallies. And I want to stop right there and make this point that it was very poignant. He stayed on point almost the entire time. He did deviate a few times, but that's Trump. Right? This was way better than a lot of his speeches that he has given in the past. He threw in jokes at the right time. He kept it funny, kept it light in the moments that it needed to be.
Now we have a president who falls asleep at global conferences. But we always have known that this was not the end. It was only the beginning of our fight to rescue the American dream. And it's a word you don't use, 2 words. I don't want to be Joe. It's 2 words, American dream. That was not good what he did. There are a lot of bad things, like going to Idaho and saying, welcome to the state of Florida. I really love it.
He was really engaging in this speech, and I have to say that it was one of his better speeches. They go on to say, Trump spoke at a moment when many Republicans are distancing themselves from him after lackluster midterm elections for the party. GOP lawmakers, even some traditionally supportive of Trump, hoped he would delay the announcement until after Georgia Senate runoffs, fearing his rhetoric could divide Republicans and drag down GOP candidate Herschel Walker. Now, it's funny that they mentioned that in this article because in his speech, he touts about how great Herschel Walker would be in the Senate and tells people to make sure to go out and vote in that Senate race and vote for Herschel Walker.
Despite the outcome in the Senate, we cannot lose hope, and we must all work very hard for a gentleman and a great person named Herschel Walker, a fabulous human being who loves our country and will be a great United States Senator. Herschel Walker, get out and vote for Herschel, and he deserves it. He was an incredible athlete. He'll be an even better senator. Get out and vote for Herschel Walker.
So he's putting all of his support behind the candidate, even during when he's announcing his presidential candidacy, and yet that's not good enough for Fox News. They go on to say, however, Trump's speech, in a tone subdued compared to his traditional campaign rallies, avoided intra-party sniping and denials of President Biden's 2020 election victory. There was no reference to Ron Santimonious, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, or other rivals Trump has gone after as recently as the past few days on his Truth Social account. Instead, he largely focused on touting himself as the person to fix problems plaguing the U.S. under Biden. He said, America's comeback starts right now.
Great movement of ours. Never been anything like it, and perhaps there will never be anything like it again. There's never been anything to compete with what we have all done. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, and my fellow citizens, America's comeback starts right now.
He said, quote, America's comeback starts right now, Trump told an enthusiastic crowd that included many members of his inner circle and at various points chanted, Trump, Trump, and USA, USA. In order to make America great and glorious again, I am announcing tonight my candidacy for President of the United States, Trump said. Trump hit on many of his signature issues, including crime, drugs, and illegal immigration. He also covered new ground, calling for congressional term limits, regulations on stock trading for federal lawmakers, and lobbying bans for former members of the cabinet and Congress.
We will dismantle the deep state and restore government by the people. To further drain the swamp, I will push for a constitutional amendment to impose term limits on members of Congress. It's time. It's time. And I will ask for a permanent ban on taxpayer funding of campaigns, a lifetime ban on lobbying by former members of Congress and cabinet members. No, I see what they make. They leave the White House or they leave Congress and they're paid millions and millions and millions of dollars a year. No, you have to have a ban. We want a ban on members of Congress getting rich by trading stocks with insider information.
I want to take another hard stop here because those points, while I see the positives and negatives for term limits, okay? If you have somebody who does a great job, you want them to be in there for as long as you can keep them in there, right? But at the same time, the longer they're there in Washington, the longer they're susceptible to corruption in some way, shape, or form. Whether it be, hey, if you don't do this, I won't do this for you. You know what I mean? This tit for tat, quid pro quo crap. They may not be siding with the Democrats, but they're not doing whatever they can to stop them either. And so that's a problem. And so I do agree with the term limits. I really love the lobbying ban. I think that should be 100%. If you've worked for the federal government at the highest level, you should not be allowed to work for these, companies who then have special interests in the United States government. That should just not be allowed. I 100% agree with that. But let's get back to what Fox News said. They said Trump slammed Biden on his withdrawal from Afghanistan, alleging that the current president made the U.S. a laughingstock. Alleging? No, Fox News, that's a true statement. That's not alleging anything. He also attacked Biden for the U.S. assistance to Ukraine in its war against Russia. Well, yes, he attacked Biden because, hello, that war would have never happened had Trump won in 2020. We all know it. Putin knows it. Biden knows it. Everybody in this country knows it. So a lot of people, including myself, believe that Biden allowed that to happen so that he could filter or so that he could funnel billions of dollars into Ukraine and line the pockets of many of his friends and himself. Just, if you don't believe me, go look into how they're keeping track of the money that's going to Ukraine from the United States. Go ahead and do your own research if you don't believe me. And after you do, come back to this video and leave a comment. I'd love to know what you found. Quote, perhaps the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country, Trump said, referring to Afghanistan. We lost lives, left Americans behind, and surrendered $85 billion in the finest military equipment anywhere in the world. I can't argue with that. I cannot argue with that statement. Unlike Biden possibly getting us into World War III, which can seriously happen, Trump continued, I will keep America out of foolish and unnecessary foreign wars. Hear, hear, President Trump. I'm all for it. However, he painted an optimistic future for the U.S. if he's reelected. I am running because I believe the world has not yet seen the true glory of what this nation can be, Trump said. We will heal our divisions and bring our people back together through incredible success. We will shatter the forces of tyranny, and we will unleash the glories of liberty for ourselves and for our children and for generations yet to come. America's golden age is just ahead.
then we will shatter the forces of tyranny and we will unleash the glories of liberty for ourselves and for our children and for generations yet to come. America's golden age is just ahead.
Love it. I love that part of the speech. That was a great way to rile up and get the motivation going, right? Like, hell yes, Mr. President, I am with you. It is time to show the world just how liberating this country and this form of government can be. But we got to fix this government first. Now, Fox News goes on to say the crowd was filled with Trump loyalists, including Rick Grinnell, Roger Stone, Tony Bobulinski, Mike Lindell, Jason Miller, Boris Estin, and Devin Nunes. Much of Trump's family was also there, including his wife Melania, his children Eric and Barron, his daughter-in-law Laura, and his son-in-law Jared Kushner. Now, why does that matter, Fox News? Of course, they're going to be there. It was at Mar-a-Lago. Hello? But why did you make it a point to put that in there? And then, not only that, but call them Trump loyalists. Not supporters, not friends of Trump, not family, none of that. It's loyalists. You see how Fox News is trying to shape your vision of Trump with the words they use here? Now remember, there is something more powerful than any military on the planet, any dictator, the most powerful thing is words.
There are, of course, those who do not want us to speak.
Just let me think.
In fact, even now, orders are being shouted into telephones, and men with guns will soon be on their way.
It's Chancellor Sutler.
Damn it!
Why? Because while the truncheon may be used in lieu of conversation, words will always retain their power. Words offer the means to meaning, and for those who will listen, the enunciation of truth. And the truth is, there is something terribly wrong with this country.
And that's why they want to shut us down. That's why they want to stop us from putting out our videos on YouTube and saying what we want, and saying what we want on certain platforms like Facebook and Twitter. Now, Twitter being in the hands of Elon Musk, we may get to see some free speech there again. But these major platforms that hold hundreds of millions of users are the ones that need to be where the free speech is. But it's not. And so there's a reason for that. Because those people know that words are more powerful than anything else. And if you can find the right words to convey your message and get your point across, you can spark a revolution.
And together, we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. We will make America glorious again. And we will make America great again. Thank you very much. God bless you all. Thank you.
That's what they're afraid of. That's why they don't want someone like President Trump running again. And one of my favorite parts of Trump's speech when he says, Nancy Pelosi has been fired. I was like, yes, because he announced during his speech that the Republicans have taken control of the House, and now is more than likely going to be McCarthy is going to be Speaker of the House. So Nancy Pelosi has been fired. That was great. That was one of my favorite parts of the speech.
Because of our great congressmen and all of our great congressmen and congresswomen, we have taken over Congress. Nancy Pelosi has been fired. Isn't that nice?
Another part about in the speech that I loved was him talking about going after the deep state. And I don't think Trump really understood how bad the deep state was until he became president and realized all of these bureaucrats who have been there for decades just moving around between departments, working for the Department of Interior and then working for Department of Land Management and then working for the Department of HUD and then, just kind of bouncing around from all these stupid government departments, continuously staying in the bureaucrat system, right? All the while influencing policy and all that and directing the country behind the scenes. I think that was a brilliant tactic because people like myself who know that deep state exists, want to see all of that crushed, all of that demolished. To not only drain the swamp, let's just eliminate the swamp altogether.
I've said before, the gravest threats to our civilization are not from abroad, but from within. None is greater than the weaponization of the justice system, the FBI, and the DOJ. We must conduct a top-to-bottom overhaul to clean out the festering rot and corruption of Washington, D.C.
I found it interesting how Trump said that he would bring unity back to this country through success. And I remember that from the 80s, right? In the 80s, you didn't have a lot of this bipartisan bickering and back and forth. I mean, there was some probably, but and I was a kid, so I didn't pay attention to politics all that much like I do today. But I did pay attention to some politics because I lived in a foreign country as a kid. As a matter of fact, I lived in West Germany as a kid. So I knew all too well what communism does to a country and what the freedom that America represents, what it means. And so I did pay attention to some politics. And Ronald Reagan was a big influence in my life growing up because I saw a lot of him living on through media and news reports and stuff, living on a military base in a foreign country. You only got one channel on base, and it's basically the same programming every day. So anyways, I understand what he means when he says he's going to bring unity to this country through success. Because if anyone can bring back the economy for a third time, it's Donald Trump. I just want to say one more thing before we part ways. Remember the 5th of November. But I'm going to leave it there. If you've made it all the way to the end of the video, thank you for watching. It really does mean a lot to me that you've made it this far. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you get notified anytime I drop a new video. Smash that like button. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this video, the topic, and the channel. I love to engage with my viewers, so feel free to fire away. But the most important thing you can do if you want to help support my work is hit that share button and share this video on all social media platforms. Those interactions will show YouTube's algorithm that my video needs more impressions, and that's how we're going to grow. I appreciate everything you guys are doing, and I will catch you later. Peace.